Hey, what's up guys? So welcome back to Mel V Presents. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about memorization techniques and what I do to memorize lines and what helps me. So the first thing that I do when I get a script or a monologue, I go over the material and I read it. And I'm not trying to memorize it at this point. I'm just reading it to try to get an understanding of what's going on in the scene. What is the character doing? What are the actions that are going to be taking? You want to fully understand and sit with the material so that you can actually summarize what's happening in the scene, or you can actually restate it. So that's how I know that I fully understand what's going on when I can restate it. So once I've read the material and I'm fully comfortable with it, I'll take a highlighter and I'll highlight my lines, because you want your lines to pop out on the page. So during this process, I'll take my time to do this and give myself another opportunity to internalize the material and sit with it and really take it in. So once I've read the material and I feel fully comfortable with it and I go through and highlight my lines, then I'll start with memorization techniques. So the first thing I'll do is I'll break it down line by line. So I'll take the first line, memorize it, and then I'll move to the second line, memorize that, and then I'll combine the first and the second line. And then once I have combined it, then I will repeat that process until I get to the end. So once I've broken the material down line by line and I have it memorized, then I'll start to write out the material. I will write it out on a piece of paper, and this kind of forces your brain to recall the material. And you'll be surprised, the more you write it out, how the words will just kind of flow out and spill onto the page. You'll really surprise yourself how much you actually know the material. I'll do this process maybe like 5 times. I'll just write it over and over, and as I'm writing it, I'll be saying the lines out loud as well, so that helps too. Another thing that's very helpful is running your lines with a partner, or just having somebody there to kind of quiz you and make sure that you're getting the material right. So if it's a scene and there's another character in the scene, it's good to run it with somebody else. Or if it's a monologue, just having someone there to make sure that you say the words correctly and you're not messing anything up. So practicing doing that is helpful. And when you're doing that, you want to make sure that you're adding feeling and emotion to the words that you're saying. So that helps you also to memorize lines quickly. So my last technique and my favorite technique is to record myself. So on my phone, if you have an iPhone, there's the voice memo that you can record yourself. So I record myself saying the line, and then I listen to it over and over and over again. And as I'm listening to it, I'm saying it along with myself. So that technique is super helpful because it's kind of like listening to a song on the radio. There's so many songs that are on the radio that I never intentionally tried to learn the lyrics, but I know them. It's because I've heard them over and over and over again. So that is like the #1 thing that I do to help me memorize lines. So with memorization, repetition and practice are key. And the more you rehearse, the easier it will become, and eventually it'll become second nature. You'll be able to say your lines without even thinking about it. Another thing that's important, and I would suggest, is not doing this all at once. Space out your practice. You want to do 20 minutes here and 20 minutes there. It's easier for you to memorize things in small portions versus trying to overwhelm yourself and frustrate yourself because you're trying to memorize a large piece of material. That's not the best way to go about it. So take it in pieces, especially if you have the time. Space it out through the day, and if you have a play that you're doing, give yourself time to work up to memorizing the material. But if you don't have a lot of time, I definitely recommend recording it, because that helps you to pick it up very quickly. So we all learn different, so some techniques may work for one person and some techniques may work for another person, but what's important is to practice memorization. Even if you don't have an audition or you don't have something to memorize, you should be trying to memorize something every week. Pick up a material from a book or a magazine and just start practicing these techniques. So when you do have an audition, if you get like a same-day audition, you're not freaking out because you're working on your memorization skills, because it's a skill. It's something that you can learn and you can train yourself to pick up material quickly. And sometimes memorization comes quickly to others than not. Like me, it takes me a while to memorize things, so I have to practice at it. So the more you practice, the better. So that's all I have for you guys today. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like it and subscribe to my page, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!